Hello, all. Good morning. Make certain I got these all set up. How's everybody? Hey, Real Tom, good to see you in there. Oh, wait a minute. See, I should have highlighted that one because you're saying good morning to me. Good to see you, sir. Hello, Mira Rose. Hello, Felicia. Daily Word, Blake. Paul, good to see you in the house. Hello, Nana K. Lily Pad. Let's see. New banner went up at DOJ headquarters this afternoon. Optics are important. Thing is everything. It's getting interesting. Hello, Wendy W. Hello, Coolby. Hello, Craig, Bernard, Miss Brenda. I'm with you, Coolby. Thank God it's Friday, and things definitely appear to be starting to head our way. Silver on a bit of a run, which is impressive when you look at the attempts to suppress it. Hello, Regina. Hello, Ms. Jet, Arnold, Jason. Let's see. Funny how they ran a special on Michael Jackson smearing him. He had issues, yes, but the timing of the special, along with it is all pretty interesting. See, right there. Now release the aliens. Cue the aliens, and that might be because there's some damning, possibly damning stuff coming out in the Epstein files against some of the Trump family. We're going to talk about it. It's news that is flowing in other parts of the world, but I haven't seen it here yet. Yeah, it's getting crazy. Let's see. Sven claims that Trump's part of the Looking Glass Wars. Epstein's claims that Trump's part of the Looking Glass Wars. Could this be Project Looking Glass? Ooh, that would make sense. Where the elites use machines to see into the future. Oh, it's getting cuckoo. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I am the walrus. Let's see. I can't believe no one's mentioned Obama saying the extraterrestrials are real, and Trump has indirectly confirmed that. Files now will be released, Steve. You haven't been paying attention to chat. They've been talking about it. Yeah, it's almost like, geez, Steve, isn't it almost predictable whenever the news goes kinds of sideways? Bam. Cue the aliens. Yeah, project that's beyond an understatement, Tom. Looking Glass is, yeah, quite the rabbit hole. TP, things are crazy enough that while the elites are being exposed, may as well slide in the alien information, right? Aliens almost started a war with China yesterday. Whatever. Maybe we can get one with Iran today. I mean, it really is. Oh, wait. Trump and son maybe in the is in the Epstein files, whether it's true or not. That hits in much of the world news yesterday. Cue the aliens like Obama and then Trump responding. Well, he shouldn't have said that. Oh, it's just crazy. Alex, no, no real Bond update for you, Alex. 10-minute mark. We'll dive into the news. What there is some on the group side. I got a good piece last night. Hello, Joan Sullivan. Some of these are funny comments this morning. Oh, this is pretty cool. MacGyver lives. Good morning, Mark. My grandma Doris is 102 today. She has never taken pharmaceutical medications, only a daily multivitamin. She's only been in the hospital for cataract surgery and birthing kids. Isn't that just something else? Wow. Happy birthday to Miss Doris. Gary, what do I think of the Cirrus Vision jet? Pretty cool jet. Affordable to operate in comparison. I'm hoping new tech blows it out of the water, though. What's the good word today, Jay and Amy? Thunderbird. What's the price? A quarter twice. Let's see, Todd, how to believe the so-called truth when they give it to us, if they give it to us. Here is, I think, an important observation. How do we know? And how much of the news that they're reporting to us now is just to confuse it? In other words, they're throwing so much out of it at us. Much of it is probably true, but they're throwing so much at us on purpose so that we question it all. La Liz, buenos dias. Mike, well, that's not accurate, Mike. The question is whether or not the nefarious stuff in there is true or not, because Epstein had a habit of seeding it, writing ruminations to himself, sending out an email, or creating a draft to what's the word I'm looking for here, to make it appear somebody else may have been guilty. And Epstein files are full of that. So if you don't have somebody else responding back and forth that could actually be a witness, just remember that in the Epstein files, he would start a conversation with somebody else referring to, I don't know, let's just say Trump or somebody else that was very, well, it implied a lot and much of it probably not true. So Epstein would try to create leverage and blackmail where there wasn't anything to create it with, under the idea of it. So when I read these, keep that in mind, that he, looking through his files, it is very obvious for anybody with an IQ above 10. B. Gallup, is it true about the Iraqi army? They said if it's got Hussein's picture, illegal's the wrong word you're looking for. And I get mixed stories as to whether they're going to accept it or not accept it. I do know that in some areas of Iraq, especially Kurdish regions, they still use the currency with Saddam Hussein's picture. I've had that reported by many people on the streets, ground level. Some of them I know in real life. But supposedly, was it demonetized when they printed the new currency? Yes. Or I shouldn't say supposedly. I mean, there's a lot of documentation saying it was. Smoke and mirrors to distract from what? Isn't that a good question? Rick, it's good to see you in there, brother. Ouch. Lucy, not Lucy. My rent-to-own home was just sold to a flipper contractor given 45 days to move out. Ouch. Yet Sheila, great point. Epstein was obsessed with Trump and hated him. Most of his inner circle was obsessed with Trump and hated him. That is something to remember as these stories come out. But to not talk about them is absolutely irresponsible. Troy, thank you for that. Very kind. Okay. With my harp and song, roughly anything 2000 and newer is good to go. Let's see. Supreme Court ruled against legality of most tariffs imposed by Trump. What's this all about? The law. Trump knew he was going to push it for clarifications. Just watch the pivot. He has many other ways to do the tariffs. Theoretically, Congress should be stepping up and enforcing these, passing these. But Congress, if you're listening, you have no balls. You are an Enoch. Somebody cut them off. For the ladies in Congress, you have no ovaries. Somebody cut them. You are useless. There's no more useless organization on this planet than the United States Congress and Senate. Period. Prove me wrong. I would love for somebody to prove me wrong. Yeah, he's already had Plan B. He's already talked about Plan B. He is pointing out how bad Congress, Senate, and politics are, and he's forcing the Supreme Court to make decisions. It's been masterful to watch. I don't always understand it until after, but it's pretty cool. Okay, let's get to it. It is 10:10. Oh, wait. Did you see the FBI and the DIA found $8 billion in drug money hidden in caskets at funeral homes? No, and I am not surprised, though. Adobe, exactly. U.S. Congress is as useless as tits on a boar hog. Couldn't be more true. Hey, when was the last time they passed a budget? I mean, an actual budget. Oh, 2007. When was the last time they balanced a budget? Newt Gingrich was Speaker of the House. There is not a more useless organization on the planet than our Congress and our Senate. User, thank you for that. Valview, good morning, MarkZ families. When I hear about the Epstein files, I just say out loud, only God has the truth. We will never really know. It's God's choice and who's guilty or not. He is the one that gets to do the judging. Mark Edwards, did I hear 59,300 US per million dong? There's reports of somebody that is going to exchange at the end of this month 1 million dong for 59,300. Yes, that is a figure that the bank gave them. Their possible exchange is not scheduled until very first of next week. So we'll find out if it's true or not, Mark. I think it's going to be way higher than that. But there have been some rates populating and then disappearing. Can I see Turd Ferguson? Yes, I can see Turd Ferguson. I'm just reading a few of these. I know we got to get to it. We do know that we are going to get some unexpected Supreme Court decisions over the coming days. Of course, sounds like we already got one today. Kyle, again, I have zero, beyond zero control as to whether they ever put any of my stuff into recaps. Very kind person does it. Does a pretty solid job. Know what they choose to put in there. I'm not in recaps all the time because I am controversial. I don't mind saying something about Epstein. I also don't mind calling BS because politics, whether the folks watching this believe it or not, are very important as to whether you ever see a reset or whether the apocalypse has to happen. The world has to end before you get sound money. The politics are extremely important, but many of the intel people are afraid to touch them because they're pansies. It's truth. They may not want to hear it, but they're pansies because they know the politics affect the timing, the amounts, the world, every bit of it. See, Mountain Goat, I cautioned everyone earlier in 2025 that the election was coming and the chaos that always prevails from it. I've not seen an election as bad as this one is what probably should have been. It's outside investors in the Iraq dinar. All we can do is hang on, watch this saga play out. Part of the process at some point, of course, the reinstatement. All right. I can control it by finally releasing the RV, for which I'm in complete control. I love it. All right. Hicktown, they're on call this weekend. Redemption folks on call have not been scheduled. All right, let's get to it. They also work in wealth management. That is something I have found in almost all cases with people that have been training to exchange the currencies. Almost every one of them have been tied directly to wealth management. All right, let's get to it. We did the Trump order. Let's get to Arab TV. Maliki, this stays the drama right now in Iraq over the president prime minister. They seem to be paralyzed over president before they will elect a prime minister over the whole Maliki thing. Arab TV, this is yesterday news. 11 members of the framework informed Maliki of their withdrawal of their support for him to assume the presidency. So things are starting to move very quickly. He was expected to announce last night stepping down. I cannot find it in the news that he has, not for lack of searching. Now, to no avail. Cancellation of the coordination framework meeting scheduled to be held yesterday evening. I had reported on this also that they were to have a meeting, powwows to make a decision. We are hearing that was delayed. We also, it was delayed on the heels of the framework members backing out on Maliki's support. They were supposed to have a meeting last night. We just know it was canceled. We don't know why, or at least I don't know yet. We do know that we are starting to get some unrest in western Iraq, close to the Syrian border. Explosive factory seized inside the house of a Sunni Waqf employee in western Anbar. We do know that some of the PMF forces have been involved in cleaning up some. Yeah, almost all of it seems to be tied to Sunnis for some reason. I'll let people draw their own conclusions there. But there is a heightened security issues in the Syrian border, which we knew was going to come with the fall of Syria. Sorry about that. Spam call trying to come in and interrupt us. Security issues, they're working through them. U.S. warnings of sanctions if Maliki returns. U.S. has doubled down in the last 24, 48 hours on this one to make certain they understand. Sudani chairs a special meeting on the Sovereign Guarantees Initiative. I want to point this one out because this is part of their white reforms. We also saw this in Russia when they started privatizing all of their companies after the fall of the Berlin Wall. We're going back to like Yeltsin, pre-Putin. And we saw massive increase in the value of everything. It was like an uncorking of their economy. When they've done anywhere in the past, we've seen this happen. It has done the same thing. It has fueled public investments, investitures, growth, manufacturing, agriculture. HCL continues to happen. We also know in the news, I couldn't find a good translation. Turkey has sat down with Iraq, Kurdish region, and Baghdad region, trying to go ahead and pound out a very lengthy extension of the Cyan pipeline. That's also dominating news right now. Just going to find a good translation today. Now, here's the one that we've kind of hinted at within the Epstein files. New document reveals Trump raped Ghislaine Maxwell's sister. When I say Trump, I believe they're referring to Eric or possibly, but they're saying Trump's DNA was found amongst the evidence related to the case. Of course, that could be absolutely, it could just be his hair, could be, dropped a comb, could be he was just in the same room at some point. We don't know. It's getting crazy is what I'm getting at. And I'm just going to read the story. And I think it's important, whether you agree with it, whether you don't agree with it, so that you know what is being discussed around the world, so that when somebody makes a comment, you know what the basis is for that comment. Boy, I tell you, I'm afraid to do this one, but I got to do it. And Dinon saying, y'all, Disclosed TV just reported Supreme Court just voted against Trump's tariffs under federal law intended for national emergency because it's long standing. I expected that to happen. He has other tools. Don't worry. Then the Harpin Song, thank you for that super sticker. Boy, I know this is going to go south. And Gina also pointing out, strikes down the tariffs. When Iran falls, what does that do, or what does that do with their influence? Changes it tremendously. Lighting's better here, that's for certain. Thank you, Miss Maria. Let's see, 6-3 on the Supreme Court was the vote. Jennifer Walls Davis, embarrassed to ask, I've heard you refer to HCL hydrocarbon laws. What they're referring to is how to share revenues with the Kurdish region. It's how much goes to taxes, how much from oil. It's revenue sharing, who pays what, who's responsible for what. Think of it as the unification. Iraq's kind of two countries within one country with the Kurdish region. And the HCL laws, and we've been told for 20 years, I believe it is now, that when we saw the HCL pass within hours or days at the most, we would see the reinstatement of the currency. And there was a little that I need to share before I finish, go back to the Maxwell one. had a very, very good update from some folks in a very large group. And I don't want to give specifics because, well, I don't want to deal with the backlash. And I don't want to get myself in trouble because I'm part of one of those groups. They made the comment that it is finally time, and they have started moving some key people that haven't been moved in, well, years to start handling those exchanges. Um, Now I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to say, just wait and see. Travel started today for a couple of key people headed west. I am beyond hopeful. This is something I've been waiting to see, and I saw it. So when I got that information, when I awoke to that information, I was exceptionally excited. That was on your rumor part, but it has me bouncing. What's the second part of the Mountain Guru? CBI has told us that they're working on it and even told us it was very close as they only needed stability and security to make it happen. This is where we must pay close attention to the news and get a feel for what CBI says it's important for stability. We can see that the issues with Iran are now on the top of the list of stability issues. Yeah, no, that's why I think we're about to see a culmination. I could be wrong, but I think within 10 days, we're going to know exactly what's going on if we haven't already gotten the news. TMB, oil exporting revenue sharing. Saudi gives its citizens funds based upon oil exports. HCO will do the same in the Iraqi region. Hint, oil belongs to the people. Kazemi mentioned that when oil contract done. They've been telling this all along that the natural resources of Iraq belong to the Iraqi people. No news on CMKX. No news on CMKX. Mary, can I repeat that again? No news on CMKX. No, that was on currency groups. And their funding comes at the same time as the sovereigns. Let's see, which sister, the 23andMe owner or Google's ex-wife, the CEO of Utah, it's David, so inbred. And Jules Bells, I am not going to comment on bonds. The news is quiet, or any news that I can share is quiet. So yeah, done on the bond side. Not because I'm trying to be a dick or avoid anything. It's because I'm trying to cover my butt. All right, let's read this article. Within the Epstein files, new document reveals Trump raped Ghislaine Maxwell's sister. A recent document has revealed that the sister of the accused, Ghislaine Maxwell, was sexually assaulted, noting that U.S. President Trump's DNA was found among the evidence related to the case. Investigations related to this case include a series of forensic evidence, including DNA test kits, linking certain well-known figures to the events, the document said. Now, what's true and what's not true? This is totally different, guys. Yeah, a lot of the questions could get me in trouble, guys. So it's stop trying to be clever and ask them in different ways. It is insulting. All right, let's get back to this one. DNA linking certain well-known figures, the events. The case comes in context of a series of previous cases linked to minors exploitation networks where Ghislaine Maxwell has been central to investigations involving several prominent figures. This is subject child Bryce to Olson something. Somebody's been redacted in here. Now, just because there's an email from somebody to somebody else, if it doesn't include evidence, it doesn't mean that it's real. It means they have sent one. This is really easy to seed information. Spy agencies use this all the time. Blackmailers use this all the time. Could it be true? Yes, could be true. You've got to reserve that possibility when you read these things. And this is the email. And some of the English in it is horrendous. Some of you folks, you may have to help me on this one. Maxwell, I believe she is French, so English would not be the first language. Hello, my name is blank. Ghislaine is my older sister. The man in the photographs from Navajo Nation was the code keeper. Got the vault accessible only by a general on an island in Akal Beach, India. He has the keys to all the rooms of Epstein's videotapes. I filed sexual harassment suit against him as a contractor for the FBI and a volunteer for Global Canada Mounties in conjunction with the mission Unknown Soldier, where I was left to complete investigation with the accounting department. It seems that my pay per diem has been taken from blank. She stole my royalty card and Royal Navy badge to, well, POSINH, posing as a nanny to Princess Beatrice. To even get that close in security to dancing with Prince Andrew, she needed ID. What she did not know was my call sign was Prince Andrew, because my first mission was to save life in Canada, and Prince Andrew paid for to leave human trafficking. I witnessed Groofy, I guess that's Virginia Guthrie, slap Beatrice as an infant, or was that just slaying? Some of the spelling in here is horrendous, guys. Slap Beatrice as an infant, abused many kids. The Ottoman pic was from a house she rented in my name and would find teenagers who were having a baby and then take the baby to try to sell it to adoptive parents. The parents were sending money to her sister. She kept the babies and the moms locked up while she went to Vail with Eric Trump and paid for a car on my credit card. As Trump was, and when they say Trump, a lot of this guys, they're referring to Eric, if I'm reading this correctly, not Donald. As Trump was government contract or over 25,000, I filed a complaint of sexual harassment on behalf and the children they assaulted at Tramps in the back room. Is that Trumps? Is that Tramps? There's not an O near an A, so that wouldn't make much sense. In the back room where I was drugged and taped by them. My rape kit was Juliet Doe. Another one was Washington, D.C., and that was positive for Trump DNA too. Donald and Eric cornered me in a fitting room when I tried to save a woman from being raped. I was choked with their bare hands that both tested positive for low-grade fiberglass from a construction site. They were getting paid from the government for high-grade material. They also wiped my genitalia with their hands that also tested positive for cocaine. I mean, all this is pretty fantastical. Ghislaine is my older sister and worked to save me from human trafficking and worked out the arrangements with Prince Andrew, paying Epstein and me being out of foster care to study as a nanny. I have been on a long mission for Veterans Administration Internal Affairs and the Attorney General for retaliation as a whistleblower for my harassment suit. And I think we ended the meeting with your ugly fat man offering me a job at Nellis after I finished the reserves as a consultant and called me in his office to tell me to give him a blowjob as I had before to Marco Perez. The individual in your seeking info with his tongue elongated. Could that mean lying, tongue elongated? What does that mean? He would save up for months to use a Polaroid to take a picture of himself like paparazzi in front of his 11-year-old sister's genitalia. Send to other children in 1989 where he gave a DNA sample and was paid by Eric. So, yeah. BS, yay, nay. I just want to make certain that you guys know what's being discussed around the world. Whether these things true or not, I mean, a lot of it does not make any logical sense. We've all got to think on our own. See, Rick says scripted like a bad Saturday Night Live script. I mean, yeah, it's all over the place, but I just want you to know that around the world, many people are diving into this thing and they're like, aha, here's my aha moment. And they do. White Wolf, they fabricate a lot. They do. And they leave out, they insinuate, and they will send emails back and forth discussing things they say happened, but could they all be in on this one? Hey, this is a perfect opportunity. They write it. I mean, we could be sitting, or they, when I say we, but let's just say you and I are sitting. You pick somebody in the chat room. If we were sitting in the same room, got our laptops right beside each other, we could create like this whole thread of damning information. And now think about this one. So I'm going to be over here with Booger, and we're going to talk about, I don't know, we're going to frame another mod or something about stealing muffins, probably Kukla, just for fun. So we create this whole back and forth with supposed evidence we've seen. Or, I mean, because there's no reference in these things to the actual evidence. There is, oh, it's in somebody else's name. Oh, it's in a Jane Doe. Oh, it's in a whatever. So that if there's anything, then that might be looked at as corroborating, even if it isn't. So you can create your own story this way. And we were talking about intelligence agencies. One of the things that we are at this point, I'd say 99.999% confident is Epstein worked as an intelligence asset. And we can discuss the who, the what, but the evidence very much points to the CIA and Mossad. What's real, what's not? Great question. But it is also standard protocol for them to create evidence for manipulation. So that's something you've got to keep in mind. Yeah, I'm reading some of these. Yeah, fiberglass because they were on a job site somewhere. Then maybe they got fiberglass when they rubbed her genitalia. I mean, some of the stuff is just out there. And that her vagina tested positive for cocaine, supposedly because I guess they were cutting lines of cocaine. I don't know. Yeah, some of the stuff's a little kooky. How old would that have made Eric back in the 80s? That's a great question. Would he have been old enough to, I don't know. He doesn't look much older than me, if any older than me. Yep, stealing muffins on National Muffin Day. But just what I'm saying is, if you've got somebody and you want to start creating paper trails, oh, it's easy to do. You could create a paper trail with somebody that looked like you. You could create like custom email addresses that are totally BS that makes it look like somebody else. Super, super. Yeah, exactly. Did Jean Carroll write that email? It was about as, yeah, as you could possibly come up with. So we don't know what's true here. But I do think we need to keep an open mind to make certain that we get to the truth, whatever that is. Eric Trump's going to be 42 this month. How would that make any sense? And let's see. This was supposedly written in 2020. 42, I guess, possibly. But they're referring back to some of the stuff in the 1980s. Yeah, none of it makes any sense to me, but I just want you to know what's out there. Britain's former Prince Andrew released after being detained by police for 11 hours. The brother of the British monarch was arrested on his 66th birthday on suspicion of misconduct in public office following the release of the Epstein emails. What they picked him up for was suspicion of misconduct and trying to find out if he gave any state secrets, family secrets, etc., while meeting with a prostitute. Now, I am not certain, guys, that they aren't painting this. And let me get into the details here. If they're not painting this to avoid pedophilia claims, what I mean by that one is they're saying that supposedly he may have given some inside information to an adult woman, and they wanted to make certain an adult woman that through Epstein or whatever they were bringing in for him to have sex with, but they want to make certain we knew it was an adult. So they're trying to paint this as him possibly being guilty of bedroom talk with a prostitute. While not a good look for the family, they're showing how they're going to come after him strongly. They don't care. Nobody's above the law. And, now you need to be embarrassed because you told a prostitute some sensitive information. This really reminds me, who was the Clinton, Morris, whatever, that got caught with a prostitute sharing bedroom secrets and now is all over the talk market or talk radio show. I'm not convinced that this isn't them running damage control, because wouldn't it be much better to have slipped while having sex with a prostitute than it would be to be eating babies and raping 10-year-olds? I mean, if you're going to be guilty of one of them, which one's the better look for the royal family? I'm not convinced that this whole thing is not a plot. And then they arrest him on his birthday. I mean, dude, optics. Ed C. Renard was arrested for allegedly passing state secrets and already released. Do you think he would still be in jail if he posted a mean tweet? Yeah, he would still be in jail on a mean tweet. Oh, Mr. C, we do. I am so sorry, guys. We need to get to Mr. C. The only other things that we need to discuss, guys, I am so sorry. I got carried away. U.S. reaches strike-ready posture with 2 carrier strikes. We are positioned now for Iran. We have more forces there than we had when Israel struck. On that front, with shaky reasoning, Trump weighs limited initial strike on Iran. Things are very much ramping up, possibly in the next weekend. He went on air saying he's going to make a decision within the next 10 days, just a day or so ago. Keep that in mind. We had a flare up with U.S. and Chinese jets, brief standoff in Korea or near Korea. FBI Director Kash Patel says Bureau uncovered Antifa funding sources. He did a big one with Dan Bongino. We're going to get to that one in the coming days as they are tracking down. They said they've already started making arrests over some of this dark money going in for color revolutions. All right. Mr. C, it is that time. I am so sorry I got carried away with the DJT Epstein information. Possible scare event. Is this removing the Iranian influence so that we can go ahead and revalue? Lot to unpack there. There we go. Now we got Mr. C.
Good morning, Mark.
There's so much to unpack right now.
Yeah, I agree. Can you hear me okay?
I'm getting you turned up right now. All right. They'll have to let you know how well they can hear you. You're a little quiet on my end, but I think it's going to work well.
Okay, good. Voice is a little weak today, but we're okay.
How are you feeling? Have you picked up any bugs from being out there shoveling snow?
Luckily, today the temperature is about 50. Tomorrow it's going to be about 30, but no, we're okay. I've been diving deep into the book.
Good. Yeah, I'm reading some of these. The supposedly Supreme Court shut down his tariffs today.
Now, the problem with that is the Supreme Court is still involved with the London bar, and that operation over there is still intending to destroy the Trump economy so that they can win the elections and destroy America. So it's not surprising.
Have you heard any solid news before we start letting people rip on questions? I should probably be saying, go ahead and say your thanks, your hellos, and all those things. But I think people are going to be, there's so much going on between Epstein and tariffs and Iran and the flare up with China. They probably just want to know if you've heard anything good.
Actually, I've heard nothing. It's been very, very quiet. I've had a lot of people call and get upset because it's not happened, but I've heard nothing solid from anybody saying it's actually in progress. But the signs are looking great to me. This Epstein episode is just really fantastic. I think it's the Band-Aid that will rip open and allow the RV to occur. I also believe that when Prince Andrew, quote unquote, was arrested for treason, not Epstein related, but treason, selling state secrets to an individual American per se for profit or for in exchange or swap for young women. And that's going to rip off the Band-Aid for everybody. I think it's going to go across the world as like an earthquake. And I'm really, really pleased with it.
I know I am. And it does. I mean, we were told disclosure, and goodness, we're getting disclosure. I mean, we're getting almost too much disclosure.
I also believe that the gold, I forget the name of the person, Mountain Goat, is correct. Stability and safety for your funds, for your money, is paramount. Has always been since the beginning of the Golden Dragon's involvement, and especially since the Gold Treaty signatures.
Yeah, Reuters reporting that we've reached advanced stages for the military operation against Iran. No, we have. Groups, air groups, everything's in place now. Starting to get a lot of questions. Guys, try to save your questions until he's ready to take questions.
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead, Mark.
David just really wants to know an answer to this one. Should we establish a trust or LLC before the RV? referral to wealth management, Oregon coast. I mean, you know, you've been in the securities business before. I keep telling folks, if you can, great. If you can't, you'll have time after and you'll be better funded. But Mr. C, your thoughts on that one?
The biggest problem of forming an LLC or a trust is the cost up front and to maintain that, because we don't know how long this is going to take. You know, it's been 36 years for me, and that would have been an absolute ungodly expensive operation had I started a trust when we first started talking about this. So I would recommend just waiting until you get paid and then start the trust.
I would suggest learning about them now, though. There is no reason you guys, if you're uncertain on the trust front, why you haven't started. There's so many videos, there's so much information, revocable, irrevocable. I mean, you have been negligent if you haven't started researching, is what I'm getting at. And you can fix it. Ignorance is an opportunity.
I agree.
Yeah, a lot of folks want your opinion on the tariff thing, Mr. C. That seems to be the number one question being asked in different ways. You know,
it's obfuscation. The Supreme Court has been compromised to the degree where I believe a lot of them are going to be crook-walked when this happens, when the RV occurs. So it's not surprising me they shut him down. But that does not mean the tariffs are going to go away. He has the powers under the executive branch authorities of the Constitution to do this. It's just a matter of, and it is an emergency because we were on the brink of destruction under the Biden administration by design, by the CFR. I'll go back to the Promethean, I can't talk today. Promethean group, which is, I pronounced it wrong, I'm sorry.
Peruvian?
We'll get it one way or the other. But it's a plan that was started in 1977 to destroy the economies and to allow the wokeism to take over the world. That's how Bush Sr. got involved in all this. Goes back to Equal 2 and other activities of Soros, etc. So I'm not worried about it.
Lily Pad, Florida Senate just passed legislation to rename Palm Beach International Donald J. Trump International in a 25-11 vote. People's heads are going to be melting. To me, it's funny watching that. What has everybody concerned? World's going to shit. There's baby-eating Luciferian cult that's running things. Rothschilds do indeed pretty much run the entire world with the Luciferian cult. And boop, oh my God, they renamed an airport.
I remember when they renamed Dulles the Reagan Airport.
I remember that one too. Of course, I was a Reagan fan, so I was in favor of it.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a funny one, and there are a lot of very opinionated people here. Seattle. So does Trump owe the people money cause of his illegal tariffs? One, Seattle. You may want to go look at it. The brief 30 seconds I've been able to do in research, they've not said that his tariffs were illegal. They said to keep them long-term without Congress, it would be illegal. So I don't think they owe anybody a refund.
No.
The TDS on both sides of the spectrum, where they think he could walk on water, he could eat a baby in front of them, they wouldn't think he was guilty, or those that think that he is guilty of everything just because he was born. The irrational mindset of so many on that one.
One has to understand, the West Coast has been pretty much propagandized because of the Evergreen operation of Evergreen going on. That's where the rats truly started their operation during and after World War II. So it's not surprising at all.
No, not really isn't. I'm sorry. Some of these are funny, Mr. C, when you think about them. Well, it'll keep the liberals from flying into Florida via that airport. They just rename all of the airports, maybe even the crossing at the line, DJT state line or something like that. Nobody will ever go. I'm sorry. I thought it was funny.
Interesting.
If you see anything you want to grab hold of there, do not hesitate. What is TDS? Trump derangement syndrome, Mary. Trump derangement syndrome. It is very much a real thing. Just ask Chuck Schumer.
really, Schumer's a real interesting character. He's in my book a lot because he was on the take. He wanted a pay order in order to pay Leo, which I found interesting. A lot of politicians were on that line, and Schumer was one of the biggest ones. Schumer and Nancy Pelosi.
Roy, thank you for those that are looking into this because we're live. I can only do so much research. Roy posting, Kavanaugh said they didn't rule on whether or not the tariffs must be paid back or if they are retroactive.
They don't have that authority.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they have that authority. I think this is basically going to force it to Congress to make a decision now.
Well, again, it's more obfuscation and redirection, which is what the Epstein operation is about. Has always been. That was a spy catching and spy turning operation. I worked with George Reig. He turned 11 spies, made them double spies. They were Soviet and they became spies for America. Same thing. When that stopped, when Hoover disappeared, basically, when he died, they came to another operation which was funded by Epstein. Now, Epstein was brought in by Senior to manage the Goldman Sachs account for BCCI, which was really the money pit for this operation. So it's not surprising at all when he turned up and how deep they got. If you look at it one step further, it was also to corral the throne. The throne. Chris Story and I went to Queen Elizabeth II because she was the only sovereign that we could tell around the world that could prevent or stop the destruction of America, essentially. And for her to be involved, and when she agreed to loan me the $6.2 trillion for a refunding of the dollar, we knew at that point that she was trying to maintain a straight and narrow operation because she was hoodwinked by her bankers who stole her gold and her money. And it took her quite a while to get it back.
Now, when you say her, who are you referring to?
Queen Elizabeth II.
I was doing that just because I saw a post in there. Somebody was confused. Go ahead.
And that's really what this is about. Queen Elizabeth saw what was happening under Bush Senior, and so she did not want to participate. And so Senior tried to drag her into all kinds of activities, but she withheld from that. And that's why she used the affidavits I submitted in her defense to the Royal Court. Very interesting stuff.
No, it was, and that was a lot of the documentation that I got to see with Al. That's how I knew so much of this was real because Al had the receipts.
Yeah.
Like all the documents, court documents, world court documents, England, Queen. I mean, just so much of it. Dave wants to know, Mr. C, what's involved in maintaining a trust? How much would that normally cost a month?
I'm not a trust expert. I would suggest you go to Mr. Locke, Attorney Locke. I'm not in that field that much. I have a paralegal, but that's about it.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy. Depends on just how much you want to do through the trust. It can be as expensive as $0 to maintain.
Or it can be very expensive.
Or it can be very expensive if you try to make it more complicated. Whoa. I don't even know where to go. All the super chats. You guys are just beyond awesome. See a lot of calls for more salt. Jersey Girl, Mr. C, this won't be a popular question, but what are your thoughts about the RV not happening until Israel is exposed for the evil or their leadership? Not Israel, the people, not the Jewish nation. We're talking about evil bankers, evil people, and they exist in all governments. I just want to keep saying that because I catch hell anytime I say anything against somebody if they are Jewish.
The prevention of the RV is the lack of control or oversight, in which allowed people to become corrupt, and that's an affliction worldwide. Is Israel the key on this? Not really, because it's not Israel itself. It is the corruption inside the banking system, which we're trying to get away from. And although Trump is trying to do it in his own manner, it is not going to solve the problem because corruption is still there when they ignore the law, they ignore executing the law, and they're still doing it at a court level. So it's going to take a massive martial law scenario to arrest these rats, do perp walks, and clean up the system and execute the laws.
Yeah, I guess her biggest concern is as their positioning. Does that mean we don't need to look at the weekend because we haven't figured out the Israel thing? Does it mean? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just concerned. Is that throwing off timing or something?
No, it's not. One nation alone is not the issue here. It is corruption across the board, and corruption that has to be taken out, exposed, and dealt with, adjudicated. Whether it's in a pit or a rope, doesn't matter. They have to be adjudicated. But it's not based on Israel. Israel was just one of the many targets of the operation of Bush Sr., etc. When they sold Promise to Israel, they knew it was going to happen. But it was just a method to gather all the money, to corral all the money under Senior, under the Rothschilds, to create a collapse worldwide. That's what the deconstruction of industrialization was about, which this is what Rubio dealt with in Munich, which I think is fascinating.
Question for Mr. C. Your opinion on what will happen with physical currency and coin after the RV? Will the Treasury dump coin and currency for digital currency only?
No. If you look at the QFS scenario, there will be coins, there will be dollars, the gold-backed currency itself, and the Treasury has to maintain itself as our own national bank in that degree, and around the world also. But I don't see the elimination of coins. I really don't.
Yeah, Penguin, other useless things, DOJ, CIA, FBI, local government. Yeah, let's just start picking useless things. I have very little respect. Okay, I don't have any respect for Congress. I don't even need to pretend.
I agree.
Yeah, hey Leah, why do we need law if we primarily enforce policy? That is, some people got to remember that is the problem. Getting a farm, we have no room to talk about evil and corruption in other countries. Yeah, I know. That's well, actually, we do if we point out the corruption in our own. Then we can point out all the corruption.
Okay. If you want to deal with corruption, you look at it this way. You're talking about money. And the United States had the strictest operation of law for money. The way it was used, how it was used, and the laws to keep fraud out of the system until the Bush subcommittee nullified or neutered those laws and allowed the NASD, the National Association of Security Dealers, to be taken down, FINRA created, and transferred to the UK. That's when everything went haywire.
Yeah, haywire. No rents. Isaac is not one of my bond contacts. Never really has been. I don't interact with him. Nothing against him or anything. It's just not one of my bond sources. His stuff gets posted in here a lot. A lot of you folks will send it when he posts things, but that is absolutely 1,000,000% not one of my bond sources. And that's not me hacking on anybody at all. It just isn't one of my bond sources because I don't know him in real life. Yeah, Coldbuster, maybe somebody will respond. I stay away from making suggestions on places to buy currencies. It's just a bad look for me, I think. If we don't fix 2020, why vote again? A lot of people are in that mindset right now, Mr. C, and especially after the Epstein files, everybody's like, it's pointless. Everybody's corrupt. Everybody's twisted, sick. Why do we even want to vote?
Well, I see right now there's an effort to expose what happened in 2020 with the international involvement. And that's, you go back to the executive orders of Trump in his first term, which allowed us to track and maintain files on those individuals and countries that were involved. And that's going to be exposed. That's part of the RV operation.
Miss SA died. Will every country have gold from the Golden Dragons, Mr. C?
Yes. All the countries that are signatories to the gold treaty, 214, 217 plus, and you can see that on the RV, and it will be that's what my role is, to release the locks of the gold bullion, which are really gold certificates, which will allow gold-backed currency to all those nations, which will flip out immediately. All fiat around the world, it's gone. All derivatives around the world, they're gone. All fraud around the world will be taken care of at that point, and we'll have a debt jubilee.
Pierre Leone, question from Mr. C. How soon will new free Wi-Fi start and phone? Will utilities cost less? I think a lot of people are looking for things that aren't going to happen.
Honestly, I have no idea. When the new technologies come out under Nasera and Gessera, I think we'll be able to answer those questions. But right now, I cannot.
A lot of I heard the QFS has replaced the current system per ISO 20022. What does ISO 20022 have to do with the QFS?
At this point, nothing. The QFS itself, by its own statement, will not become active until we go to a gold-backed system. In other words, until they come to me with the codes, they cannot and will not be activated because they will not deal with fiat currency.
Boy, we got some interesting ones. Mr. C, for people who became a U.S. citizen but paid into the system in their country of origin prior to the RV, will they still have the opportunity to get restitution from that country? Just wondering. In other words, they moved in their 30s from, I don't know, the UK to the U.S. and became a citizen. I guess that's what Sebastian's getting at.
The only refund based on taxes paid in is the IRS. And that's the only one that we dealt with the Interpol guys, because the IRS operation was set up out of Puerto Rico as a corporation back in the early 80s. So that's why it's a fraud, and that's what's going to be refunded.
She loves America. Mark, is the rumor true about the gold that was taken from the Vatican? In your opinion, do you think all that gold was moved? And if so, where to, Mr. C?
It was moved. It was moved under the control of the Golden Dragon.
So Mr. C believes that one is real. Starting a pitchforks and torches store might be a gold mine opportunity. We'll sell Acme bricks, Acme torches, Acme pitchforks, whatever season it is. Whoever's protesting about what. Yeah, graveside humor, Mr. C.
Okay.
How soon will it happen? Will we be safe in Canada? When will the bank shut down? Yeah, people, it's one of those just like, there's so much coming so fast.
The banks will not be shut down. If there's a problem with the bank, it'll be merged with another, and you won't lose money. That's one thing I was told by Interpol.
Reef Tanker wants to know, is state income tax going away too, in your opinion?
I doubt it. We did not deal with that subject, but I certainly doubt it. The states have the authority to tax, especially corporations, because they issue the corporate charter. So I don't see that happening. It may be reduced, but I don't see it going away.
I'm just reading some of these. Will Canada still have a 70% tax rate? That's up to you Canadians. You got to ask yourself, if you have a 70% tax rate, where did you go wrong as a people before? I mean, did it ever got to 70%? Of course, keep in mind when I say that, the U.S.'s top tax rate used to be 85%.
Correct.
Before Reagan.
Yep.
That was before state taxes. That was federal. Laffer curve. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. If you see anything, just jump right in. Mr. C.
Rodcheck 1000 wants to know, what is the Golden Dragon? The Golden Dragon was one of the dragons of the Chinese families who was chosen to be the person in charge of all the gold under their control. And he signed in blood for that control. and then tried to solve the problem from 2004 on. And finally in 2019, handed that over to his grandson. So, and he played the whack-a-mole for a lot of years, which is how I got involved in this, because he decided that if I was able to tell Bush Sr. to shove his job position over my company's up his butt, then I was the person that they wanted to use to receive the codes in the U.S. because they could not trust any other American.
She Loves America is now asking, what do you think about property taxes nationwide? Do you think we will still have those or possibly not have those?
I think they may go down. I don't see them being totally eliminated, but it's possible. But that's one area we do not really discuss.
Yeah, and that is one, guys, where if Mr. C's heard things like I hear, you hear rumors, thoughts, people's opinion. I've heard that they're going to do away with state income tax, that it will be, and even at the city and town county level, that it will all be figured into a VAT, and wherever you live, a certain percentage will go to those things out of the VAT. That's what I've heard. What we're going to see, it's a great question. I won't know until the other side of it. David, thank you again on that, War Turtle.
Rambo was asking about if banks are not shut down, who will run them? They're corporations. They're going to run themselves within the law. That's what we're talking about. Effectively enforcing the law. Thus far, the law's not being enforced, and so they're running amok.
If the QFS system holds it, how does that work for the banks? Doesn't the bank become more like a I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, a facilitator. I go to them, maybe I want to get some of their services or pay them to do something, but they don't really hold my money again.
They're a conduit. Today they control how you can access your funds and use your money. When the QFS comes in, they become a conduit of services. That's all.
Basically, just a concierge.
Yeah, that's right. They no longer control, because when you put money in the bank, it's under a master custodian account that you sign off when you open an account. You give them the authority to borrow against it or to use it in any manner they choose. That's not effective enforcement of the law.
Storkinson wants to know your thoughts. Do you think the gold's in Fort Knox, or is it gone?
No.
Some of it's still there.
It was stolen by Senior a long time ago. That's one of the reasons why 9/11 occurred, to destroy the evidence of the gold missing from many, many countries, including the Queen.
I just noticed the time. I know we started a little late, so we've gone a little over, but Mr. C, somebody was just asking, you've been in this for, 30, 40, seems like 200 years at this point.
Yeah.
Do you see it happening soon, maybe in the next few months?
I see it happening soon, but that's a subjective opinion of mine, because I also see what Trump is doing. He's waging war against the European rats, as I call them, the Nazis, as they technically are. Chris Story called them DVD, who are really still trying to destroy America. So he's waiting for the midterm elections. Now, whether that's the RV is going to happen before that or not, I don't know. But I could see him putting up a valiant fight. So I don't know. It could happen tomorrow, but I'm really guessing we're going to have to go through the war to find out.
Yeah, just your thoughts. Do you think this movement in Iran speeds it up, has nothing to do with timing?
So I think it speeds it up. It's part of the problem of the protocol list. The various factions that have to be taken down. The narco-terrorism, which involves Iran, the Latin American cocaine operation, then you got Ukraine and Ukrainian money laundering. When those three areas were dealt with, then I see the possibility for the RV to occur.
All right. Anything you want to add in closing, Mr. C?
Well, I want to say thank you to Lyman. I appreciate the concern, the comments, and I'll tell you, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm very tired. I'm really sorry I'm not being able to touch base. But other than that, thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it. Good questions.
Yeah, there were
We'll
some good
see you next
questions.
week, if not sooner. Take care.
Take care, Mr. C. The illustrious, notorious, infamous, okay, famous, I think is a better word for him. T-Mac, you're very welcome. We probably should just see if we can talk him into like 3 hours of questions, and I just need to shut up. Might be a good thing for us, right? All right, for those that are celebrating birthdays, sound off here. I haven't seen any yet, but I do know I need to get in here and see what's going on with this cat.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Yeah. I don't know. What am I? I'm trying to think. 1, 2, 3, 68 and 3 days old. Hell yeah.
Yeah, right?
I think I'm close to that, or 4. I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
how has the birthday week been, Matt?
Oh, it's been great. Everything is just rolling, man. The main thing is, the older you get, the only thing you do is think about the health,
Now, you were in bed awfully early on your birthday night. Was that on purpose so nobody could drag you out?
No, it was on, well, no, I was just tired, and I was just thought, I'm going to go lay down. And we were going to go out to eat. And then my wife said, no, I'll just make you dinner, And I said, okay, cool. She's really good at that now. It's, the main thing about that in a relationship, especially when you get older, is the great foods in the conversation. When you're younger, it's a different story, And but you know what? We were both in the same class in high school, in the foods class, and we had this celebrity chef come in. There's in Minnesota. They'll know who I'm talking about. Her name was Mama D, and she was sitting there. Oh my God, she cooked up a spread that was unbelievable. Best food I've ever had. It was at a school. Because in our foods class, we had about 30 people. And she said right there in front of everybody, she said, you girls, just remember this. It's not about how hot you are and how you look. And I think she was about 70 at the time. It's how you can cook for them, because that bedroom stuff only lasts so long. It's the food that matters later. And that's what she said, Mark. And the girls are all looking at each other, and those guys are going, well, wait a second here, Mama D, will you cool it? But but she ended up being right. All of a sudden things change, and all of a sudden, whoop, it just becomes. Not that things aren't good, but it's just that the most important thing is conversation, and probably just relaxing and eating. That's really it. So that's that Lucas is there. He's still in the young stage. He doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Well, he needs to learn, because his wife's a little older than him, so she totally cradle robber here. No, I'm just messing with you, but
that's right.
He's gonna need to know. Lucas, you're gonna have to be able to do more than just be the bedroom stud for her at some point.
Oh
Because as those things start fading, you're gonna need something else in your game. Being a good dad, great cook.
I love that you guys talk like that we're like newlyweds. You know that we've been married for like 20 years.
That's cool.
Compared to Matt, that is a newlywed.
Well, you're probably right on that.
Oh my God. Oh boy. That was just yeah. You probably heard it, Lucas. You probably heard Mama D, but man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of Mama D. So Lucas, if you say no, I'm supporting you, man.
I haven't heard it. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, Lucas, you're a good cook though, man. You really are. You're the great meat cooking man. That's for sure.
Well, growing up on a farm, we never went out to eat ever. Like, ever you cooked every single meal every single day.
Yeah. I'm with you. Growing up, it was a rare thing to go out to eat.
Yeah, we never. I remember. Oh gosh, I was maybe 12 or 13. Maybe I was 14. But we went out. We took one trip, and it was to Disney World, and it was just awesome. And we brought all of our food, everything, cooked in the hotel room, everything. But one night we went out to eat, and I just remember it was the greatest thing ever.
Really? Wow.
Oh, special. I still remember one of those times my family went out. We went to Bamboo Gardens in Asheboro, North Carolina, Chinese, like sit down at a table Chinese place.
Yeah.
Fancy. It was really fancy for that town too, but it was a big event for the family to go and to order.
Lucas, the fanciest we ever got when I was a kid was, and you probably would have liked it. It was called the Red Barn hamburger place. I'm just kidding. You know,
anything where I didn't have or our family didn't have to cook, that was the bomb diggity. No one had to cook. No one had to. I didn't have
Oh
to
yeah.
stand over. I didn't have to stand to do dishes for 30 minutes after we ate. I mean, it was that was. I'm telling you.
You know, the only reason I said Red Barn is because you're a farm boy. But did you have Red Barns by you, Mark, when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I just love. They were great, man. Everything McDonald's did, they copied, but it was better. the McDonald's had Big Mac, so the Red Barn came up with the Big Barney, yeah, or the Barn Buster. Anything McDonald's had, they would just copy with a new name. But I thought the food was better. I really did. So, but yeah, that was my restaurant to go to. That's all we
Yeah.
could. That's all we could afford. No, I'm just kidding. It was just a good hamburger joint. But anyway,
being from Western Pennsylvania originally, pretty much all of our barns were either red or white, one of the two. Moving south, it was weird because a lot of the barns just were they didn't paint them at all. They were just the color of the wood. It seemed weird when I first moved south.
Yeah, you can still go into towns in Wisconsin, regular towns, and a lot of the siding's all faded in the towns. The people just don't paint. And I don't know, it's kind of weird, but
yeah, I'm with you.
So
I really should quickly give a quick twin update. Baby Vivian and mom went home yesterday. Baby Charlotte is due to be released in the next hour or two. So mom and both babies should be getting a much deserved rest, hopefully for the mom later today, as the twins will be much happier being back together. That was a little update. And Lucas, if you didn't know, my sister Wendy, her daughter had twins this week, Monday morning.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Matt figured it out because he's been having to help Amy on the phone some and fill in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The twins. That's that's not that common. That's pretty unusual. So I know Betsy's mom's mom, she was a twin. Yeah, she was a twin. Yep. But anyways, maybe it is common. I don't know. I didn't know that many twins growing up, except for the Schwartz twins who were hot. But anyway. And they weren't guys. They were gals. They were gals. Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I mean, Lucas and I were just going to leave that one.
I don't even know why I said that. But you know what? Did you have any twins on the farms, Lucas? Or you just were lucky to have people? Didn't you? Wasn't your high school like 24 people or something?
I graduated. No, it wasn't that small. I graduated with 37.
37. That was close. I was just kidding. I didn't know what it was, but 37.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been fun. You don't want to get on the bad side of anybody there. You'll be on your own.
Oh, everyone knew everything about everyone.
Yeah. Are you still, seriously, are you still friends with a lot of those people, or do you even see them, or?
Yeah, my best friends, my still best friends are two of them from there.
Oh, okay.
One of them went to West Point, and the other one, still in the same town, surveyor. And yeah, I'm still really close to my West Point friend. He's obviously traveled around. He was in the military. He just got out, after 25 years, I think. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. You get to my age, and all of a sudden, guys start passing away, kind of faster and faster.
Yeah, too many of my high school buddies are gone.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. So did you have a big school, Mark, or? regular size?
Yeah. Well, I mean, out in the middle of nowhere in Randolph County, 409 was the school's largest ever freshman class. Senior year, 240 were still there, and only 200 ended up with degrees. Back in that day, a lot of people leave school. They'd get old enough. I mean, they'd go off, and by the time they were 16 in the farm life, well, what good was school doing them?
Go to work.
Go to work. A lot of people did. They wouldn't even waste their time finishing. That is highly unusual in today's world, but back then it wasn't that unusual.
That's true. You know, yeah. It's kind of weird when you go to, I went to a huge school, you know, it was about 800 kids per class, you know, and then my wife, she hung around with different people in high school. We went to the same high school. So, I mean, it just seems like every week, you know, that you hear somebody who's died at this age. It's whatever, you know what I mean? It kind of is depressing a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's all right though, because then all of a sudden you get depressed for a second, and then you go, oh, I'm still alive, you know. So that's a cool part. But yeah, that's weird.
Wow, can you imagine a school this size? There were 2,500 graduating in my class, 37. Wow. I sit here and I think like,
I can't
yeah,
imagine
Will
that.
said 26 in their class.
I wonder,
Can you
he
imagine
must.
that, Lucas?
What'd you say?
Could you imagine like 2,500 in your class?
No,
You know,
not a chance.
I knew a couple guys in college that were from the Chicago area or suburbs or something, and they came from a huge high school like that. I wonder if he was from Chicago area. So anyway, no big deal. That's huge, man. God, you wouldn't even get to really know. I mean, I guess you got a lot of people to pick from to be friendly with, especially if you're like a handsome guys like you two were, but a guy like me,
Oh boy,
trouble.
here we go.
The only thing I could do was hope I wasn't standing in the hallway with a guy like you or Mark, and it set me up on a date or something, you know. You know who used to? Oh my God, I had a buddy who would do that for everybody, and he was really good at it too. He'd stand there with you till and you go, yeah, I don't have a girlfriend at the time, you know. It was as Mr. Perfect, the wrestler. He would stand there because he knew everybody, and the girls liked him. So he'd come by and they knew he had a girlfriend. He'd go, hey, have you met my buddy so-and-so? Honest to God, every other day he would set a guy up, and they would go out usually for a long time, you know. It was just, you know, breaking the ice, and because you see so many people, but you don't see them where you can sit and talk to them for a minute or two. Then they would talk, and next thing you know, they're going out, you know, and they're going to prom, and they're maybe hopefully getting married. No, I don't know what subject I'm on today. So anyways, what the hell? So, hey, should we tell them
we got to
the
get to CVD soon at some point, but
yeah, let's
Rick
get
asked
on
an
to the
important
special.
question.
Yeah.
Do my school still have a hitching post? No, but senior day, we all did ride our tractors to school. Well, we didn't have hitching posts still. I mean, Lucas's might have.
No, we didn't. I will tell you this though, we did. Gosh, we're really getting off topic. But when we were in Colorado, we went down to Durango, and when we were just kind of down in Durango, you know, for the train and all that stuff, we were driving around, and we went into a Waffle House that had a hitching post out front and two horses tied to it. And this has been in the last 10 years.
Well, Puerto Rico is just, it doesn't count because there's horses on pretty much every school lot on the island.
Really? I should get a horse. My neighbors in back have horses. Then I could put them right back there in a pen, right by the other horses, and they'd probably maybe break the fence down because he's got race horses, the guy over there, and have my crummy horse breed with his horse or something, and then bring it out to the racetrack. Yeah, that's an idea. I wonder if it would work. I'll have to talk to you guys about that. So,
I think Lucas, we need to get him a donkey or a little Shetland pony.
He'd be good. He'd be good with a donkey.
He'd be good with a donkey.
So what does the donkey become when it breeds with the racehorse? What happens?
A
A
mule.
donk horse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure the guy over there would be pissed, or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Truthfully, I haven't even met him. There's so much woods in between. So, anyways, should we get on with the specials
Let's do it.
so we can support our new best friend in the South America? Okay, here we go. You want to go to thecbdgurus.com, thecbdgurus.com. And when you get in there, you go to wholesale on top, and then you'll see Mark's name, MarkZ, and you hit that. And if you see a box that pops up and you're new, just put in lowercase KRAMCBD. And if you have any trouble, and you need help with an order, call 612-412-8343 or text, and we'll get you an answer. And so we started out here. Every order this week receives, or till the next special comes up, but it should be next Wednesday again. Every order receives 10% off and 5 million Bolivar. Also, well, we've got some items down there, not 14, but there's a few. You get 50 million Bolivar on some, and you also get 30 on some. I think we even have 10 million Bolivar on some of the items. And you can get as many Bolivars as you want. We actually had somebody yesterday get 300. And so that was great. Super. And the specials. Oh, the one I really like is that first item, the 3500 broad spectrum, you guys. It's peppermint. I see 50 million Bolivar. And if Scotty fix it up so we got natural in there too, but right now it's just peppermint. And that's for $25. Let's see, what other really, really good specials do we have they're all really good, but you know what? Just check them all out. Just breeze through them. But the main thing is to get into thecbdgurus.com. And then when you get in the site, go to the wholesale, MarkZ wholesale, put in lowercase KRAMCBD. And then at the end, make sure you put in your discount code FEB10, and you got 10% off. And then every order gets 5 million Bolivar. Also, on what you earn on each order, you can have those Bolivars too. And yeah, and if there's any questions, that's it for the specials. And just go in there and check them out. And
Here's a question for Matt and Lucas. GB had an Uber customer yesterday who has Parkinson's. What's the best product to recommend?
Want me to take that, Lucas?
Well, I was just going to say that, guys, there's actually a lot of great research on especially CBD and THC, mostly Delta 9 with Parkinson's. And just go on. There's actually some pretty awesome videos of people, kind of dosing themselves with Delta 9 THC. Now, obviously, um, kind of work, especially on the dosing with your doctor. It looks like a lot of these people on here worked with their doctor to kind of get their, with the dosing just for them so that they can, when something does come up or, when they do have a flare up of some sort, they take whatever the correct amount that they've been prescribed. And I'm telling you what, it is unreal. And people who have struggled, people tell their stories where they've struggled with this for, over or decades. I was going to say over like 5 years, but it's like decades with these people. And, they work with their doctor to get on a good dosing of the THC and CBD, mostly the Delta 9. And it's unreal. Like it's changed these people's lives where they're in complete despair and now they actually have hope that they can live somewhat of a normal life. It's pretty awesome to see these guys' stories. I mean, you'll spend hours going through these videos. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, they're fun. I would also suggest lion's mane because there's a lot of research for the underlying conditions. It seems that THC really helps with treating, and the lion's mane really good at
The
support the
Yep,
body itself.
exactly. It's just that lion's mane isn't that, that instantaneous mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Whereas you have like the symptoms like, disappear with the immediateness of the THC, whereas the lion's mane is going to take months, to repair, because you guys, when your body is self-destructing, or you've done the self-destruction either way, and you've done it for 15, 20, 30 years, you're not going to be able to repair that overnight. It's going to take time.
Exactly.
And which is fine, but it's hard in our society and culture where we want that instant fix, which there are some, yeah, I wouldn't say fixes, but they are instant relief. But to do a full set repair, it's gonna take time, and we have to be patient with that and let our bodies do what it does. But it's not an overnight thing.
Yeah, you didn't get in the position overnight.
No.
Probably not getting out overnight. Mountain Gold wants to know when the brain neurotropic's going to be back in again.
Um,
I think we lost him.
I think we did too. Matt, we lost you if you can hear us.
He may have been busy checking.
Hey, you know what? No, I wasn't busy checking. I just got a call there, sorry, that, and it interfered with the deal. No, it just hasn't come in yet. No matter how many times we want it to come in, it just, if I ask him, it ain't gonna come in the next, whatever. It'll come in when it's in. You'll see it. Sorry about that. We're working the best we can.
K2D3 gummies. Are they in there? And I just need to go in and find them in a different spot.
I think they're in the, they're not in the specials, but they should be in there. If they're not, we'll get them in. They might have went out of stock all of a sudden. So are they, let me see.
Yeah, I'm looking myself. Usually when somebody say, yeah, they're in here, they show in here. Let me click on and make certain they don't. Yeah, they're in there, guys. They're just in there under the gummies section. So you just go in, hit the gummies button, and then just scroll down and you will find them. They're right there hiding. Well, they're not hiding. They're just not in the specials.
Yeah, they're in stock right now for sure. And yeah, it's just, here's what I do, you guys. Guys who manufacture stuff, and I'm never one. I put the orders in, and then if it doesn't come in, I check with them, and then I just say, "Oh, okay, you got it in the system, right?" And me and Lucas do that all the time. See, no matter, it's not like if you. And I'm just going to tell the truth. We have some people they'll ask me every day for a week. Is it in? Is it in? Is it in? Is it in? And I don't blame you. That's fine. But once in a while we go out of stock, like the nootropic. I'd say over the last 2 years, it's probably only been out of stock maybe for, I don't know, 8 days total. So I would always, for sure, if you're really depending on a certain product, make sure you always have 2 of them. And just in case. You just need that extra one, when we're out of stock or something. Does that make sense, you guys? And trust me, I've never been the guy. If you try to get after your suppliers in any way and get mean with them, you guys, it doesn't work in business.
Oh, Matt gets on me all the time because
Yeah, I wasn't going to point it out, Lucas, but
oh yeah, it's like he's passively aggressive saying it while I'm on the phone with you guys. Yes, but and I tell Matt, first off, you got to give me enough heads up, which not always is the case. Not throwing anyone. And secondly, ingredients are all over the place, guys. So there's some things that we may have, all but one ingredient, and we're waiting for the ingredient to come in. And it's just one of those things where we're kind of waiting on that as well. So it's kind of twofold. It can kind of be all over the place, and we do the best we can, but it's not easy.
No, yeah, it's a, especially in today's world. But I mean, even throughout history, it's been tough in business, and supplies and what am I looking for here? The supply chain, the whole thing. Johnny's got a good question for you, Lucas. What about anxiety? What's a good thing to use for that?
Man,
I immediately thought of your lion's mane studies out of Japan.
yeah, the lion's mane is what was that study? Mark, gosh, it's been forever. The lion's mane study showed that, and I think it was what 2 to 4 grams they gave them during the study, and they found that it actually worked as good, if not better, than antidepressants, and it didn't have any of the side effects. Um, people really, and I think it was pretty high, Mark. It was
No, it was
actually
way up there. It was
it
like
was it was
orders
I
of
want to.
magnitude better.
Yeah, and it was because even with antidepressants in the US, it doesn't work on everybody.
No, and
So
the side effects with a lot of those.
it does, yeah. And so you have like a 60-70% success rate. Whereas with Lion's Mane, I think it was, I need to look back, but I want to say 86 or 87%
Yeah,
was
it was unreal.
yeah, it was really, really beneficial. And what I get frustrated with is why would you, well, as a doctor in the US, why would you automatically go toward, especially with all the studies that have been done, why are you reaching automatically for antidepressants when you can try the lion's mane first, especially with the lack of, side effects that you do have with it? I
Yeah,
don't
I think
understand
just
why people don't go that route.
one or two studies to show how much more effective they are would be enough for me. I
Yeah.
know as a parent, if it were like my child, oh, definitely. I mean, just me personally, I would be reaching for the natural solution. And then the science shows me it's better than the pharmaceutical. Yeah, I'm totally. I just ask your doctors. Guy wants to know about pet CBDs. Guy, you can find them in the buttons. They're not always on special, but there's a button that says pet CBD. And it'll have the treats, the CBD oil, all of those for pets, but they are in there, Guy. Did I do good, Matt?
That
I
was
did that
great.
one all by myself.
And some of the treats might be out of stock right now. I think we have beef in still, and we got the CBD oil, so you can just sprinkle that in their food. And the dogs usually are really amicable to the pet oil in anything. Dogs, man, they'll eat anything. The cats are a little finicky, but I've always said to people, we had a cat for 14 years, and I don't think we gave her 3 pounds of food out of the house, so it was one of those things. And cats are going to eat what they want to eat, man. They like to eat live things, like all the mice and the birds and all kinds of stuff. So, anyways, I guess you know what? I'll probably get another cat now that I think about it. Why not? And just put a little cat house in the back, in the back of the garage, so it's heated up a little bit or something, and then go out there, and when I'm sitting by the deck, just have them kind of walk up, or she or whatever, just kind of be buddies in, and then when I go in the house, maybe get a couple of them.
Man, what are you going to do when that cat brings you a squirrel up and puts it, a poor wounded or dead squirrel on your step, Matt? Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's going to be a factor, because when we had a cat, we still had squirrels everywhere,
Oh, yeah.
and they didn't. I don't know if
Yeah, they might get hold of a chipmunk, but I've never seen one get hold of a squirrel.
Okay, good. Yeah, because you had me thinking there for a second, Mark. Like, I'm not going to do that to my squirrel buddies for sure. Especially
Yeah.
the white one. I got this white one that hangs around now, and that's pretty cool. And I don't know how common those are, but I've never seen a white one in Minnesota. I've seen the gray ones, the pure black ones, and then this is the
And
first
the
white
red
one.
ones. Seen a lot of red ones.
Yeah, but they're pretty, very, very smart animal. It'd be cool if all the animals one day a year could just talk, and just tell us what they're feeling, So yesterday, I actually had a dog come up in the parking lot. It was, you could tell it was a stray. And it actually had a Christmas collar on it, so it might have been running since Christmas. It was a pretty nice, bigger dog, but a lot of the fur was off. It's just dirtier than heck. So I brought it in for a second in the warehouse, and I kind of kept it in the area. And then we ran out of bread and crackers, so the only thing I could give it was treats. So I ended up I think the dog was about 70 pounds, and I think I gave her 6 or 7 of them, and then I put a blanket down, and then she started yawning, and
I
then
bet
laid
so.
down, and then she laid down until the animal guy got there. And he goes, "Boy, this dog is peaceful." And I said, "Yep, it sure is. It sure is."
That's
But
gonna
it
be
was so
laughing.
funny the way it started yawning, after the about the 6th one, and I'm going, okay, that's enough of those. But I think the dog was actually starving. Truthfully, it was pretty skinny, but I think it's doing good. And the animal guy came and he said, "Boy, this dog's going to clean up nice. Hopefully it
Uh,
has a chip." So
Lori Madden with a question. I think this one's got Lucas written all over it. What's the best for all day energy and pain?
Oh man, all day energy.
I would say the energy gummies, and then some 1 milligram Delta 9 gummies if you want to have a little gummy action.
I do like those 1 milligram guys. I do like those.
Yep. And boy, yeah. We're working on a new little product there, but it isn't quite ready to go on the one scene. It's going to be pretty cool. I was a tester so far. I've tested them out this week, and I've tested during all
About
the
what,
days.
50 of them?
No, I'm at let's see, this will be the 5th day on testing. So I'm at, if I follow the average, I'll be at about 16 or 17 for the week. But I space them out, and they're only 1 milligram, but they're good. They're going to be quite the hit. And should we tell them what they are, Lucas?
Nope.
No, we
Shouldn't
can't.
do it.
I can't because listen, Lucas says he's the boss, So okay, but
I just make them, but I just,
but
before you get labels, I don't think you should. Shouldn't do it.
no, we won't. But we put our heads together on this deal, you guys, me and Lucas, and we both on a 1 to 10, say like 10, it's going to be successful. I think I decided on a 10. I don't know. What did you decide, Lucas? I don't know. What do you think? You said what? Lucas, can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
I was in my safe room for a second there. I'm just kidding. What did you say, Lucas?
Yep. Maybe we did lose Lucas.
He's in a safe room. He's getting
he's in a safe room.
Nuclear bomb is dropping on him as we speak. So
yeah, the both the pet CBDs are out. The treats are out of stock.
Well, we'll have to figure that one out. We'll get some, you guys.
But
tough.
the stray finished them off, guys. That's you can blame Matt taking care of animals.
Hey, yeah. Is Lucas back, Mark?
Yeah, I just got back.
Hey, you know what? I think I got a little emergency coming up. It's no big deal, but I think I'm gonna have to peel out, you guys. So
okay.
Yep, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for having me on, Mark.
All right, Matt, you go do your thing. Lucas and I are going to hang out for a bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Lucas, what do you want to talk about now that, it's safe?
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people.
There's a lot in my mind.
Yeah, well, let us know what's on your mind. It doesn't always have to be CBD. You got so many changes coming. You got nutritionals coming. Doesn't even have to be about that. It could be about life. It could be about your kids, kicking butt in the basketball season.
They are. They finish up this weekend. So that's I was down in Pensacola this week. And trying to figure out a few new projects going on, a few new products in general. Some for Matt, some not. But I'll tell you what, man, this whole Wegovy thing with the protein scenario is pretty nuts. It is consuming, at least 12 to 14 hours of my day every day. So since I've been on, I have gotten 11 calls
Oh wow.
on it. It's my entire day. I mean, it's nonstop.
Yeah, do you see it slowing down any or?
Well, no, I don't actually. I think it's going to increase substantially. And I think that especially now that people are, which I feel like they should have been forever, right? For the longest time, what, 2, 3, 4 decades, it's been nothing but carbohydrates. Push the carbs, eat
Mhm.
bread, eat this. And now it's completely flopped on its head. Now it's like, no, guys, we should be eating carbohydrates and bread and sugar barely at all, and we need to be eating more protein, and our entire composition of everything changes. For men, it's lower testosterone and all of this, and we haven't been doing for so many years, and now it's like, no, the focus is, hey, you guys need to be eating protein. Get your vitamins, minerals, get your vegetables. But at the end of the day, like, we
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back, guys. Just lost his audio. Hello, hello.
Hey, I'm back, sorry.
Haha. Yeah, we lost you there for
It's just
for a moment.
it's just another call. It's nonstop. Um, but yeah, no, I think with just the need to eat protein, to be able to just boost ourselves up a little bit, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And especially with the GLP-1s, being able to, get healthier, lose weight, on an easier fashion. But at the same time, when you're on stuff like that, your protein intake's got to be 3x what it used to be.
Yep.
You really have to get up there. And they're like, well, you're not going to have any desire for, carbs and sugar, from what I hear. And I'm like, that's perfect. I wish we have been so designed in our culture to eat carbohydrates, bread, sugar, all this stuff, and it's like, guys, I'm actually kind of happy that that's what that does, because it's like, man, people just got to get away from that mentality. Like, we do not need to eat all this carbohydrates. It's insane. It's a cheap food that we have programmed our brains to saying that we need to have it on a daily basis.
Um, yeah, the more they really did the whole food pyramid. It was great. Basically, they just took the whole thing, flipped it upside down, said, "All right, fixed it."
Yeah, yeah. Which isn't it crazy? It's like, we didn't have to alter it. All we had to do was, well, and who knows? Maybe when they told originally to do the food pyramid, maybe it was supposed to be the other way, and the person printing it just accidentally printed it the wrong way. And they're like, guys, like, I meant it to go the other way. And they're like, we'll just run with it, right? Like, we'll just run with the way you printed it. And he's like, no, it should be the other way. No, 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 no. We'll just run with it the way it is.
Boy, I tell you, a lot of questions coming in on the Wegovy side. Is there a court case for blindness? There's a court case for just about anything on
Oh
Wegovy
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
the synthetic GLP ones. There are so many natural products that stimulate your own GLP production. There's so many great options out there. But yeah, I don't think I know anybody that was taking those that didn't have some serious. When I say those, I'm talking about the pharmaceutical ones that didn't have some kind of serious side effect.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, like, that's where and why I don't see the protein going away is because of this. Even with all the side effects, like, people are still flocking toward it, and
Hmm.
I do, and I'm like, guys, be careful. Like, it's I'm obviously, I don't have the research and all that. I don't think they do either, but regardless, it is a massive. I can't even remember, and it changes so frequently. But the amount of people, even in the United States, Mark, that is on
It's
the GLP
crazy.
one is insane. There are predictions that by 2030, over 50% of the US will be on it.
I would rather over 50% be on a good diet than they won't need it.
I okay, but good luck. It's easier
Yeah,
to
right.
push that than it is to give people discipline.
way easier to say, hey, here, spend a couple extra $100 a month on this drug, and you can keep eating zingers and moon pies and Mau Maus and Zag nuts and chase them down with Yahoos and Cheerwines.
Oh, no.
Way easier sell.
Way easier. But what I think that is what's crazy is that all of the companies that, like say Little Debbie or whatever, like when you're on that stuff, you have no desire for sugar or very little desire. So like that is going away. No one also has no desire for alcohol. So now you have like alcohol companies losing 40% of their sales. It'll be interesting to see as this progresses, as I think we are going to see a massive upheaval of the food industry. What you're going to start seeing even at Walmart or Kroger's or Winn-Dixie's or whatever, all of the foods are going to start changing, because when they can't sell 60 or 70% of what's on the shelves. People aren't like, it's just going to change, which honestly, Mark, may not be the best, or sorry, may not be the worst scenario.
Yeah, right.
It is about time for us to do a little upheaval and not present it. I am tired of walking my kids and literally 80% of the food that's in the stores are junk.
Crap. You can
And
pretty much take out the entire center of the grocery store and throw it away, and the increase in American health will be just massive.
yeah, yeah, and of course, like I mean, my youngest kids, like they don't like, vegetables, all that stuff,
Dude,
and that
Captain Crunch is
hence
better.
hence why I did the greens gummy. Like, hey, all right, this is a sugar-free gummy, allulose. It naturally, increases your GLP-1 receptor. Um, like take this, and then, obviously the protein. Good thing is my kids, my family really like deer meat. So that's super positive on that front. Super lean, full of vitamins and minerals. Good stuff. I'm really big on, using food as medicine.
I know I'm huge. I mean, the Bible told us foods are medicine,
And it is. I mean, it's been true for 6,000 years.
and hadn't changed.
No.
Um, somebody just asking if you're going to make a Gobi style product or not.
A what?
A GLP-1 product.
No. I mean, it's you I mean, I guess the closest would probably be the greens because of the probiotic as well as the allulose, but it's a natural form. You start getting into that. Like, I don't want to get into the pharmaceuticals. I don't want to get, we're already going through, we've already got, our CGMP, FDA. I was actually talking to Marco. Gosh, when was I talking to you about this? And we're now in the final run of our NSF certs, our ISO
Mhm.
9013 certs. Um, so, like, then we'd have to go pharmaceutical. Guys, I'm so worn out from the last 4 months of doing these certifications. I don't even want to think about the pharmaceutical certs or what we'd have to go through on that front.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised for what you've already gone through to be tougher than the pharmaceutical ones.
It's then
Maybe.
maybe it wouldn't be that hard after what we've gone through. This NSF is just no joke. I mean, it is tough. And I tell Matt about it, and he's like, like, and I'm just like, it's rigorous, man. Um, so it's good though. It's good because I feel like if you're gonna ingest something into your body, you want it from a manufacturer that has taken all the precautions to make sure, one, it's a quality product, and secondly, that it's going to be a consistent product every time.
Um, oh, geez, joyful voice. I just had a best French dip I've had in years at a place called No Frills Grill in Virginia Beach. It was amazing. I'm a big fan of French dips, Lucas. Total side thing there.
Oh, you and me both. I
Oh
could do
man, do I
French
love them.
dips every day of my life.
I am with you. I mean, I don't even mind the particularly highly processed one from Arby's. That's how much I
I've
like
ne-
French dips.
I've never I have never eaten the Arby's one.
Really? It's
Nope.
worth getting. If you don't have a choice, fast food or nothing, it's healthier option than most fast food.
Um,
Well,
no, I like to. I do make my own, and I'll tell you what. I don't know if this would be up here, but man, I love making some easy over eggs and throwing that on.
oh
So
yeah, I
you
don't
get.
like the goodness. I like my eggs cooked, but I can throw a
Oh
scrambled egg on
no,
there.
I want it. No, no. You see, I like it because it leads to the gooiness. You get a little bit of that yolk with the sauce. Oh
I take
gosh.
I take my raw horseradish, just the ground up horseradish, not
Uh huh.
the one with the mayonnaise or whatever. I put that in my au jus
Oh,
for the French dip and dip it. That way it's spicy goodness. Oh yeah, where we
I
going?
would try that. I would be on board for that.
Mm. Rich wants to know: are Guru products made all over or one place we could tour? I can see that. I
So
mean, Lucas makes some amazing stuff. Not everything comes from Lucas, but most of it, I believe.
no, I make most. I don't know percent, maybe 80%. We make probably 80% of the gurus and stuff. And so that's why, like Matt just asked me to come on, talk about the products. Um, he does like to say that it's mostly his ideas that come to fruition. We'll let you be the deciding factor of if that's true or not. Um, but uh, but yeah, no, I mean we probably do 80%. There's a lot of things like the lotions that we don't do. We do supply, say the CBD and CBG to the lotion manufacturer. It's just something that whole process is an animal in and of itself.
Yeah, totally
So
different equipment, totally different focus than what you
it
do.
is.
You
It
can't do
is.
everything. Well, you can't do everything
No.
well.
Well, that's the bigger thing. Yeah, we could do it, but is it going to be as best as it can be? Absolutely not. And so we know what we're good at and we know what we're not good at. And so we stick to the realm that we do well.
Um, let's see. Ann Gregory, are you going to get your weight loss supplements back in stock? I'm looking for a good one. You did have that weight loss capsule for a while, and I had a number of people reported some pretty good stuff on it.
That is one that I don't do. So I couldn't tell you when that would be
Well,
back in stock for Matt and those guys.
yeah, it says out of stock, but it is. Excuse me, it's in the computer under
Hon-
their capsules page. If you want to know to find it, so that you guys can keep an eye on it.
Yeah. And honestly, like being able to take the super greens and probiotic, being that, you're getting in each gummy a little over a gram, actually almost 1.5 grams of allulose. That would be a great natural way for weight loss as well.
I see a lot of people talking about yogurt now. I do not like yogurt. I do not. I
You
do
don't
not.
like yogurt?
I smell it and I have to fight back puking. It's
See,
just
I
the
do that with
smell
cottage
of it. I'm
cheese.
also my body doesn't deal with whey protein either. So there's certain things on that front. My body's just not going to deal with it.
Did you hear about the new tick in I think it's like central south the US that's now starting to become prevalent? There's over like 400,000 people now reported. They're getting bit by these ticks
Hmm.
that are making them what do you want to call it, allergic to meat and protein.
Oh yeah, no, I have heard a number of people develop a allergic response to protein with Lyme's disease. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it's becoming more and more prevalent. I'd have to deal with that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That's all I
Yeah,
eat.
yeah, exactly. And science has shown that it's very, very important in your diet. Oh man. Um, you got me thinking. Bill Gates ticks a lot of people getting into where it possibly came from. Paleo. Have you ever done a paleo? I've just always, I guess you would call it a paleo when I do my carnivore diet.
Yeah, I mean, paleo is kind of just like a form of it, I guess you'd say. Just a low carbohydrate. The one thing I don't like about paleo is that they try to supplement like a ton of fiber. So they're like, "Oh yeah, eat this paleo bar," and it's like, well, it has all these sugar alcohols and this ton of fiber. So really, your net carbs is only 1 gram. It's like, guys, yeah, your net carbs is only 1 grams, but do you know what you had to put in your body to get that those net carbs down to one? It's not worth it. Um so I'm fine with paleo as long as it's natural. I'm really big on, if you can grow it, or if you can hunt it, eat it. If you can't, especially for your food. Now, supplements, like, that's obviously you're trying to supplement our diet, because the food, the meat that we do
Right.
have has like 10% of the nutrients that it did even 100 years ago, which is scary in and of itself. And so we have to be able to supplement ourselves nowadays because of the lack of nutrition in the animals around us. Um, but like, I'm not big on processed foods. That's what I'm not. I don't like and a lot of the paleo diets does a lot of that processed foods.
Yeah, no, I'm out on that one. Lori posted, I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you heard of A2 milk, Lucas?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My body definitely prefers A2 milk. I mean, it's like a huge difference.
Oh, it's massive. And then once you do that, you're kind of like, why is this so different? Why is my body tolerating it? And if this is the case, why are we even processing milk we do process? And why is
Yeah,
it destroying our
why isn't
people?
it become the prevalent or dominant gene for dairy cows in just normal breeding? Because come on, if you're a farmer, there's a lot of selective breeding going on in cows for better production, health, birthing, you
Well,
name it.
and it's not only the genetics, but it's also what they're feeding the cows too.
Got
So
it.
the A2 is a whole different diet as well.
Oh,
And
see, I didn't know
so
that part. I just
it
the like a certain European gene from cows helped them create an enzyme in the milk that would help your body break it down. That was my understanding of it. So I find it fascinating that the diet's different as well.
well, because what was it? There was something I was reading that if you take one of those cows and you feed it like, say, just a regular Holstein diet, that enzyme is only, like, it's like broken down like 90%. So they can't just be the genetics is also, a lot of because a lot of it is grass fed as well. So once you go to grain, that has been genetically altered as well.
Hmm.
The GMO corn really destroys everything as well.
See a lot of people here looking for raw milk. It's crazy. I mean, you're safer getting caught with 2 kilos of cocaine than you are getting caught with 2 gallons of raw milk
Isn't
in
that
much of the
insane?
United States. It's crazy. Yeah, that really is. I mean, it's nuts, Lucas.
Well, I mean, I tried to get just pure raw milk to create, instead of using liquid whey, to use just raw milk for protein. And, I mean, they would talk to you like you were a drug dealer.
Yeah,
And,
crazy.
I'm just like, It's just raw milk, guys." They're like, "Oh, no, we don't talk about that. You can't do that." I'm like,
And
"What?"
yeah, no, you don't talk about it. Oh, I just noticed time. We are going keeping
Oh,
going, but we're
my.
supposed to
Well,
now on
Mark,
Fridays.
it was good, good kind
But
of
we
chit
get
chatting with you.
no, it's we got to do it more often. But can I squeeze in this one because I know you had considered creatine gummies at some point. Somebody here asking if that was on your radar at all.
It is. So we actually it would have been available, I'd say, a month ago, and we had a massive fail. We ended up throwing away 400 kilos, so about a thousand
Oh,
pounds of creatine gummies.
it's not like you needed the money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It hurt pretty bad. But what had happened is that we used same creatine, same supplier, everything. We're still trying to figure it out. We have no idea. pH was good, Brix was good, all the metrics were great. And after drying for like 2 days, the gummies they just degraded.
Hmm.
No idea. So it was obviously a massive, massive mess.
Oh, I
Um,
can only imagine a soupy, gooey mess.
oh, it was bad. I mean, it took, I mean, I don't know, a week and a half to clean it all up while we were still,
Hmm.
in production. It was pretty bad. So anyway, it's kind of funny that you even bring that up because my partner on the manufacturing side, literally texted me. I'll tell you this right now, 18 minutes ago that we just got a whole new truckload of the creatine in, and we did a bunch of testing on it earlier in the week, and we just started our runs this morning, and all 11 runs have been successful.
Ah, that's huge. So soon is the answer on that one. It
Yeah,
sounds
soon.
like.
So we probably got about a week cure time, and then bottle up and label and all that. But yeah, the gummies have been shot and they're currently curing, so we're good there.
Oh, that's awesome news. Okay, we got some solid news on that one. Lucas, big plans for tomorrow since we're not going to have a Saturday podcast with you.
Just final weekend of basketball games.
Woohoo! Have fun. Just in
Yep, we
time for
only
March
have.
Madness.
That's right, 9.5 hours tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
It's going to make some great memories. Already
It
have.
will. It will. It will. But hey, Mark, have a great weekend. It
You
will be
too.
sad. We've done Saturday mornings for, gosh, how many years?
Exactly. I'm going to kind of miss those too. I may end up having to do like a best of show, and you can just pop in whenever you want on Saturdays.
That would be fun. That would be
Yep.
fun. Well, hey, have a good one.
You
Enjoy
too.
and get some rest.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Again, guys, CBD Gurus, Lucas, one of their main manufacturers, just huge help to the program, the community, big one. Let's see. Birthdays. We did have a couple. We had Derek, we had Trisha. Who else? Because I've not done the birthday thing yet. What do you say about older people and creatine use? I don't know. I've read a lot of very positive things that it helps the creatine use reduces age-related muscle loss. Ask your doctor if you ever had any questions on these health-wise. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love, make all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those celebrating. Giovanni celebrating a birthday. All right, Chet's son, Giovanni. Happy birthday. Anybody else out there celebrating? Enjoy it. If there's any big happenings, I'll do a podcast. If not, I will see you Monday morning at 10. Thank you, guys. Thank you, mods.